Peace be upon you, dear followers. Today, we present the story of Juha the Minister, a well-known funny character with many tales that teach valuable lessons. Before we dive into the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the bell for new stories. If you like this one, please hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comments. It helps us keep bringing you more stories. Juha lived in Baghdad, where he worked as a katab, earning his daily bread. The ruler of Baghdad had a magnificent room with a window that overlooked a lush garden and a large tree. The birds loved that tree and often chirped loudly early in the morning, disturbing the Sultan's sleep. Distressed, the Sultan ordered his minister to remove the tree. The minister, agreeing, sent guards to find a skilled woodcutter for the task. The guards, after searching, found Juha, who was puzzled by the summons. "What does His Majesty want from me?" he wondered. The guards didn't know, but took him to the palace. Once Juha entered the council, he found the Sultan waiting for him. The Sultan explained his issue with the tree and asked Juha to cut it down. Juha, always ready to help, agreed, saying it was a simple task and that he would bring all necessary tools the next day. The following day, Juha arrived at the palace to begin his work. Before he could cut the tree, the Sultan asked him, "What is the news of my people in this city, Juha?" Juha responded, "Everyone is busy with their work, earning their bread, and no one speaks ill of you, my lord." The Sultan was impressed with Juha's answer and promised him a reward of 100 dinars once the task was completed. As Juha looked around, his gaze lingered on a chessboard. The Sultan noticed this and asked, "Why do you stare at the chess game, Juha? Do you know how to play?" Juha, with confidence, replied, "Yes, my lord. I can easily defeat anyone in this game." The Sultan laughed mockingly and challenged him to a match. While playing, Juha thought to himself, "If I win, the Sultan may have me punished for daring to beat him. If I lose easily, he might think I'm mocking him and imprison me." After thinking for a while, Juha came up with a clever plan. He would play strategically to ensure the Sultan won. The Sultan, impressed by Juha's skill, played until nightfall, and in the end, Juha allowed the Sultan to win. Juha, relieved, thought, "Thank God the Sultan has won, and I have saved myself." But the Sultan, triumphant, said, "The night has come, Juha, and the tree has not been cut down. Why haven't you done your task?" Juha explained, "My lord, I cannot see well at night due to my weak eyesight. I will return tomorrow afternoon to complete the task." The Sultan, annoyed by the delay, waited until the next day. However, Juha did not return, as promised. The Sultan, growing impatient, decided to punish Juha if he did not show up. Meanwhile, the Sultan's minister took a walk with his family and asked an astrologer about the weather. The astrologer assured him it would be a sunny day, perfect for a stroll. The Sultan, eager to enjoy the nice weather, went out hunting with his entourage. However, the weather turned unexpectedly. The sky darkened, clouds gathered, and rain began to pour, soaking the Sultan and his party. Furious, the Sultan returned to the palace and confronted his minister. "You told me the weather would be nice. I will punish your astrologer friend for misleading us," the Sultan declared. He ordered the astrologer and the minister to be imprisoned for their mistake. The Sultan then asked, "Why hasn't Juha been arrested yet?" The commander of the guards replied, "My lord, the rain flooded Juha's house, and he is unable to come due to the mud." The Sultan, still angry, waited. Soon, a palace guard entered, saying, "Juha has arrived, my lord, but his clothes are covered in mud." The Sultan ordered him to take him to bathe and change his clothes, then bring him back to the council. After a while, Juha returned clean and with new clothes to the Sultan, who looked at him with angry looks and asked him, "Why did you miss your appointment with me, Juha?" "My master, Sultan Suleiman, if you had come, I would have drowned with my donkey before I reached you." "No, Juha, the weather was beautiful and sunny at noon, and the rain began to fall in the evening." "That is true, my master, but I knew that the rain would fall heavily, and the road leading to my house would be filled with mud." "How did you know that it would rain, Juha?" "I knew that from a donkey, my master, because it refused to go with me, even though I had dragged it against its will, but it did not move from its place. So I knew that the weather would be rainy, because my donkey loves to walk with me on normal sunny days. By God, Juha, your donkey." He understood more than the astrologer. Then he ordered the commander of the guards to bring the astrologer and the minister to investigate with them. The two came, and the Sultan began to ask him and accuse the minister, saying to him, "You exposed me to wetness and danger." The minister responded to him, defending himself, that he too had gotten wet like him and had nothing to do with what happened. The astrologer wanted to defend himself, but the Sultan interrupted him and said to him, "You have no right to speak at all, as long as the donkey understands better than you." Then he ordered the commander of the guards to take the astrologer and imprison him in an underground prison. Then he turned to his minister and said to him, "You made a mistake in your management this time." "That is true, my master, but every person, no matter how wise, makes mistakes. And I, my master, you will never find anyone like me. I made a mistake by going to the mine, but my goal was to please you, my master, and the mistake is not my fault. No, minister, you made a mistake, and I must dismiss you from your position and appoint someone in my place. There is no one in this city smarter and more knowledgeable than me. I am the one who manages all your money and wealth, and I know all the secrets of the city. Where will you find someone with all my specifications?" "The donkey's owner, Juha." "By God, I saw that his donkey is smarter than you and the astrologer." "He does not understand anything, my lord. Juha is a poor man who does not understand either the ministry or the administration. He has no prestige or status among the people. Any decision he makes will be met with disdain by the people, and you, my lord, will fall into big problems." The Sultan turned to Juha and said to him, "What do you think, Juha, of the minister's words?" "His words are exaggerated and contain a lot of arrogance and haughtiness. The minister does not mix with the common people, so he does not know their problems well. But I mix with many people, and I know their problems and situations. I know how to find solutions to their issues, and I know every little thing about them because I go through the same living conditions." Sultan Suleiman was confused about whom he would appoint. The minister said to him, "What do you think, my lord, if I challenge Juha and ask him to accomplish some tasks, and if he defeats me, you can appoint him as your minister instead of me?" The Sultan agreed to his minister's suggestion. The minister turned to Juha and said to him, "I want you to come to the Sultan's palace tomorrow, riding and walking at the same pace." Juha was surprised by his request and said to him, "How is that possible? A person moves either by walking or riding a donkey or a horse." Juha hesitated a little, then said, "Okay, tomorrow I will ride and walk at the same time." The next morning, the Sultan and the minister stood on the balcony of the palace to see Juha implementing what the minister had asked of him. Juha had gone to the market and bought a small donkey, and rode it and headed to the palace with it. His feet were touching the ground. When he reached them, he greeted them, and then said to Sultan Suleiman, Here you come, riding and walking at the same time, my lord." The Sultan was surprised when Juha arrived and completed the task of removing the tree. Turning to the minister and saying, "Here is Juha. He managed to do what you asked." The minister, frustrated with Juha, decided to challenge him once again. "I've brought a rabbit. Juha will take care of it for a week and sell it to me by Friday, but he must not actually sell it." Juha, puzzled, agreed, but he knew that the task was tricky and unreasonable. He thought for a while, and then came up with a clever plan. He would starve the rabbit for a few days, and on Friday he would feed it some lettuce and carrots just before offering it for sale. After the Friday prayers, Juha went to the market with the rabbit and offered it for sale. The minister and the commander of the guards appeared and asked to buy the rabbit. The minister inquired about the price, but Juha, with a sly grin, told him, "The price is 100,000 dinars. The minister was astonished, as a rabbit was worth only a few dirhams, and 100,000 dinars could buy many houses. He asked Juha to reconsider, but Juha insisted, "This is the price I've set." The minister, desperate to buy the rabbit, tried negotiating. "Okay, if I pay this price, you must give me your house in exchange." Juha agreed, saying, "If you're willing, we can go to the judge to make the deal official." The minister, eager to get the rabbit, agreed without hesitation. But Juha added another condition. "Before we go to the judge, I must hit you." The minister, taken aback, said, "No one has ever dared to strike me in my life. I won't allow it." Juha, however, pressed, and the minister reluctantly handed him a stick, asking him to hit gently. Juha then hit him lightly on the hands, as if punishing a child, making the minister feel embarrassed. Once the agreement was made, the minister took the rabbit, but, as he walked away, Juha whistled. The rabbit, having been well fed, suddenly slipped out of the minister's hands and returned to Juha. The minister frantically searched the market, but found the rabbit had already returned to Juha's cage. The next day, Juha and the minister met with Sultan Suleiman in the council. The Sultan, eager to know what had happened, listened as Juha explained everything. The Sultan laughed and marveled at Juha's wit. The minister, acknowledging Juha's cleverness, added, "My lord, there's one final test. If Juha can fill the cage with words, he can be appointed as a minister." Juha agreed, but insisted that the task be done in front of the public. Sultan Suleiman ordered the herald to announce to the citizens that there would be an important gathering in front of the Sultan's palace. Soon the people gathered, and Juha stood before them with the cage. He opened the cage and began his speech. "Today, I will tell you about my friend, the one who insisted on buying the rabbit from me at an impossible price. He even agreed to give me his house and let me hit him, just to buy a rabbit worth only a few dirhams. Does anyone want to know who this man is?" Juha was about to reveal the minister's name when the minister, realizing the situation, quickly interrupted, saying, "That's enough, Juha. The cage is full." The Sultan, amused by the events, declared Juha as his new minister. However, the people, astonished by this decision, began to talk among themselves, saying, "This is impossible. I am more qualified than Juha." Juha, hearing their comments, intervened. "Sultan Suleiman, doesn't the minister have guards and an entourage?" The Sultan replied, "Yes, he does." Juha then said, "Then you must prepare a magnificent procession for me to walk through the city, just like a minister." Sultan Suleiman agreed, and Juha returned to his house with a grand procession, his head held high and surrounded by guards. The people watched in awe and gradually accepted him as the new minister. And so, Juha, the clever and witty man became the new minister, leaving everyone amazed and amused by his intelligence.